Hello everyone, Ceri the Crafter here, that's C-E-R-I the Crafter, and welcome to part 3 of the 10-page challenge that I'm offering to Darcy Sanders. Now, I think this is the last video, so it might be slightly longer. I will edit out any stuff that is too much. Okay, where are we up to? So I will put links to video 1 and video 2 in the description box below so that you can see the previous videos. But to be honest, I think each video will stand alone as it is. So where we left off is I'd chosen the wooden panel. Now I have painted the wooden panel with 2 coats of white gesso, basically to stop the absorption and to actually give it a grounding. Now some of you are going, Ceri, why have you drawn lines on here? I've drawn lines on here not because of my perfectionism, but a problem I have seeing. I wear varifocals, and very often when I look at a straight line with the varifocals on, it looks slightly curved. Also, I'm looking through varifocals through an iPad at this thing. So you know me, I like things to line up horizontal and vertical if they're meant to be horizontal and vertical. And this will just help give me some sort of guideline. So let's see if I've got a bit of paper. So if I've got a bit of paper, I can at least I can see that it's more parallel to that than guessing that it's not. Do you see what I mean? It will help me. Now my aim is I'm doing a collage, an abstract collage with the pieces that both Darcy and myself have made. I do want to go around the edges to cover the edges of the board. So obviously I can't have this resting down on the surface. I've got an old textbook without a cover because I must have needed the cover for some reason, and that's what I'm going to do. So I've got about a finger's width underneath. Now, as you were noting, you can barely see the entire thing. I mean, if I put my finger at the top and the bottom, you'll see how tight this is. I have moved my camera up as high as I possibly can and still have the ability to see through it so I can actually make sure everything's centered. So please forgive me. I will do this occasionally. I know some of you saying, Ceri, why don't you do it this way? I don't want to. I want to do it this way. My mind is seeing this way, even though when I do journal pages, they're this format and I do those all the time. For some reason, I feel I want this in this orientation. Right, where are we up to? So let's move that to one side. I have already gone through and I've roughly cut all of the bits of paper into rectangles or squares or basically things with a 90-degree angle on them. Now, these are not the final sizes, but it's easier for me to use a piece this big, and if it's too big, trim it down, than it is to be dealing with letter-sized pieces of paper. So that's what these are. Something else I did as well is on the backs, I put clear gesso. And I did that because I know the front has already got a coating of acrylic paint on it. So therefore it's protected from moisture. To try and keep the rippling to a minor, I've come in and put clear gesso on the back. And this is the clear gesso I used. They do curl up, but then when they dry, they uncurl. So just know that that's all the prep I've done, to be honest with you. I'm just ready and raring to go and just seeing how this turns out. So these are the papers we selected in video 2. I do have my catalyst tool, which I'm going to smooth down with, but I could be using a credit card or something like that. I have got my matte gel medium in a tub. It doesn't normally come in a tub. It normally comes in a tube. I decant it into a tub because you can't get this top off. I'm terrible at squeezing out too much, and then I can't get it back in there, so therefore I could end up wasting it. So by putting it decanting into a tub, I feel better about that. Now, what brush am I going to use? Let's use, right, I use one of these palm brushes by Tim Holtz. It's a bit of a wayward bit of bristle there, right. So I think we're about ready to go. The only thing I haven't done is plan this out. So if I move that over to there, you can probably all be on the same page as me as far as what I want to do. Now, I really love these pieces of paper. And I want this pattern or this to be featured in some way. There's another bit there. So I love this. This is absolutely glorious. Now, I'm sort of kind of not got a plan, but I do work within the realms which I did when I used to do photography a lot, is I work in the rule of thirds. So if you divide this into 3 equal sections, and then you divide this into 3 equal sections, it's acceptedly agreed that if you then put your focal point on the junction of this third and this third, it's aesthetically pleasing to the eye. I probably wouldn't ever put a focal point smack in the middle unless there was a darn good reason to put it there. Okay, so I'll be playing with that, but as this is an abstract, I'm not sure it's not going to be a problem anyway, because there's not really going to be a focal point. But I want to start with one of these. Now I quite like this one, and I know I just said I want to put stuff on here, but that doesn't mean I can't put stuff around the corner. Do I want to start that there? Maybe I don't want to start that there. Ooh, if I hit my head on you, I apologise. It just happens to be the fact that it's really low. Right, let's just make a start, Griffiths. I think that's going to need to be this way. Don't ask me, by the way, why I made the decisions I made. I'm just making those decisions. So I tend to come in and I'll put the Mod Podge on the surface, and then I'll put a little bit of Mod Podge, what am I talking about? Matte Medium, sorry. If I've called it Mod Podge, I do apologise. It's not Mod Podge. It's matte medium. I don't know where I've got Mod Podge from in my brain. And then I go over the top of it. I do that just to give it a full secure down. If anything starts to lift up, I can always come in, and by giving it a good pushing down with the medium, I then come in and I'm going to use my catalyst tool to come from all sides. And I'm doing this for several reasons. Number one, it forces any matte medium under the edges of the piece, and it helps press it all down. Now, I would say, because I haven't seen Darcy's videos, that this is a water reactive ink or something on there, so I have to be a little bit careful with this particular piece. So as you can see, it's coming off. So wasn't aware of that, but that's fine. It's not a problem. I will work with it. Right, now, do I want another piece of this? I kind of do. I'd kind of like it up there, I think. Right, I need to cut off some of this. Right, I'm going to be cutting pieces off screen, guys, because I really don't think you need to see me using a guillotine. I think I need a little bit more of that off there. So hopefully you're all doing okay. Darcy and I are excited to share these with you. I mean, Darcy has already finished hers. I think she's a bit of an overachiever myself, but there you go. Only joking, Darcy, you know that. I admire Darcy for still powering on, because Darcy has some hand issues at the moment, which I'm hoping are going to remedy themselves eventually with the right medication and physiotherapy and all of that. I really do hope things even out for Darcy, because it's a struggle to create when you're in pain. Right. Now, I'm not going to worry too much about the sides. If something doesn't stick down properly on the side, I will come in afterwards when I'm off screen and work that out. Right, just making sure it's nice and securely down. So yes, I did toy around with lots of things of what would I want to do with this piece of art. as in, where's that piece of cloth from? As in, did I want to create a background and then put a foreground onto it? Did I want to actually maybe paint a face onto it? Because I'm trying to work, as you may know, I'm working on faces a lot. I'm going to leave these three to one side, or I'll get carried away using only those. And I will use this as well. Right, little pieces like this are really... I will go quiet from time to time, guys. I know I will. It's my nature. When I think, I go quiet. Yeah, that's probably why I talk so much. So, as I said, I'm not worried too much about the lines, but the lines are there to help me visually line things up. I mean, I can see myself, that's slightly off kilter. I'm not overly worried about it. Now, what are my plans after this? Once this is completed, I'm going to have to let it dry, and then I'll talk to you closer to the time about how I'm going to... Do I want to do that there? How I'm going to finish it off, should we say. And by finishing off, I mean I will probably seal it in some way. In fact, I know I'll seal it, so that's too near there. I do want this down here somewhere. I think that'll do. Just cut a little bit of that off. I will seal it in some way and very likely varnish it. Now, knowing that I was going to be doing this, I have bought a product which I've never used before, and that was gloss gel medium. So I don't know whether I might put a layer of gloss gel medium over the whole thing when it's finished. The trouble is I don't know how shiny gloss gel medium is. It probably sounds a bit stupid to some people, but I don't know how shiny is supposed to be. So, and up you come. So we will see. As I said, I'm unsure how I'm going to deal with that, but I know that in the past I have done stuff. I can't speak all of a sudden. I have used matte gel medium over the top, and then I've used a sealant to seal everything in, because this potentially will be going on a wall, therefore it will be open to all of the rigors of what happens in the atmosphere when you've got windows open, you've got traffic outside, and I want to protect it as much as I can, because I'm going to put this on the wall, I think above my desk downstairs, which is where I do all my editing and stuff like that. Now, I will also, as I'm working, turn this around occasionally just to stop myself falling into what I normally do, which is what I normally do. Right, we'll save the bigger pieces for later. Not sure I want green just yet. I hit you again, didn't I? I'm sorry. Right, that's the sort of thing I'm looking for. I'd quite like a really strong line down there. I don't want to go off with it. Maybe I would. Let's turn this around so I can work from this end. I'm kind of pre-folding these pieces because it helps me get it stuck around the board. So yeah, the weather here is just, it has no idea what it's doing, to be honest with you. It's like yesterday was scorching hot. It was so hot you couldn't be out in it. And today it's overcast and raining. I'm trying to get my garden sorted out. I was supposed to be having it finished by now so I could be enjoying it for the summer. But the weather has decided I will work when it wants me to work, which is also not bad because I enjoy my garden and I like to potter, and and it gives me pleasure. So I also use my garden as an excuse not to do the things I was supposed to be doing on my to-do list. I know it sounds a little weird to some people, but there are certain things I don't want to do and have to be done, so I will use any excuse possible to get out of doing them. Right, that was fine. Now, someone's going to say, Ceri, you're not adding threes of anything. I didn't say I was going to add threes of anything. It's an acceptable practice to put threes down. However, that doesn't mean I have to do it. Right, I like that strong line. I want to turn this back up this way. I'd quite like a strong line through here as well. And I'm looking at this piece. Don't like that piece as much. Ooh, I liked this piece. Let's cut a bit off that. I really like this space here. Now you can see already I will have to jiggery poke some pieces to get them to fit in the right areas. I expected to do that, guys. So where's this going to? About there. It doesn't take long to create something like this if you go in with the mindset of just doing it. I mean, I am a terrible procrastinator when it comes to creativity if I work slowly. Also, my anxiety wants me to work slowly, and my battle with perfectionism wants me to not do it in the first place. So I'm constantly trying to battle on several fronts, to be honest with you. Can you see? You can. Good. Yeah, I was thinking about different things to put on here, and I was very tempted to actually go and get it. This was the little greetings tag that Darcy put in there to say hello and good luck and all of that. And I really loved this, and I thought that would look great up there. So I'd have to have redrawn that myself, painted it, fussy cut it and put it there. And I thought, you know what? I love this, and I know I will never be satisfied with what I draw. So I've decided not to, but that was one of the options I was going to put there. Right, so this is going okay, right. And matte medium dries really quickly for me here, so it is one of those days. Right, I need to stop focusing on the circles. I like the circles, but I tend to focus on them so much that that's all I see. Right. And cut off a piece of that. And if I put that in there, I can wrap around there, right, which will bring the colour down. Ooh, I don't know whether it will have gone out yet. Maybe it hasn't gone out yet. I don't think it has gone out yet. I was really excited. I eventually finished an art journal. I mean, I started the art journal in 2022, so that'll tell you how long this has taken me. But it was one of my first, well, it was my first big art journal. I've done little ones before now, but this is quite a sizable art journal. And I learned a lot along the way. I was treating it incorrectly in my mind. I wasn't using it, as I've discussed recently, as an experimental place for my art and techniques. I'd actually treated it as a finished art journal, like almost like a resume, which is what I said I didn't want to do when I did my coffee with Ceri, but that's what I had done. Right. I quite like that bit there. Now this offers up certain challenges because it's the first time I'm going to have to deal with a corner. So I am going to fold that so it goes to there. then fold in the other direction. There's no exact science to this, so I now have an area I know I can cut. Right, so if I do cut there, so I will make a corner like that. Now I think I'm going to cut this one on a slight angle, and I am going to allow them to overlap, but I'll put this piece over. So can you see? So that bit's got an angle. I could put this piece over the top of this piece. So I need to shave that down just ever so slightly as well, just in case. I don't want anything standing proud of the panel. Right, so let's see if I can get that done. So a goodly amount of matte gel medium on all of the sides and corners. I do hope I've not been calling this Mod Podge all the way along. I'll be really annoyed if I do that. I do tend to do that. I do tend to, like I've been known to call a stamp a stencil. I will just use stupid stuff like that, and I don't know why it fixates in my brain that it's a different thing to what it actually is. It just ends up that way. Let's smooth that out. Now, I would normally have started with the corners. The reason I've started kind of in the middle-ish is because one of my subscribers said, Ceri, could you just try starting anywhere but the corners? And I went, yes, I can try that. Has it felt comfortable? No. But then anything you do that's not your normal technique will never feel comfortable. And I didn't take it as a criticism. It was just an observation. Okay, I'm quite liking that corner down there. Right. Let's have a little think-see. I have to be really careful I don't put these circles everywhere. I mean, I do have other things like this, other patterns and dots and stuff like this. And also, this was a big sheet by Darcy, and I stamped little circles on it. So I have got things that link with each other, and then I'm keeping the little bits to one side that I've cut off, because these could go in places like there. I mean, these will probably become some of the last pieces I put in. Right, now, do I want, seeing this piece, do I want this piece? I think I do, but I don't think I want to go off the edge with that one. That might be a mistake, because I'm going to be dealing with a really small piece going off the edge, but I think I can deal with that. Let's take a little bit more off there. Yeah, I'm going to be interested to see what this looks like when it's all, so can you see, when it's all finished up and it's on my wall. Come on, what are you doing? You stuck it down to the place you put the glue on, Griffiths, that's why. I don't know whether that's why I had it exactly before, but that's where it feels like it needs to go. Yeah, it's both Darcy and I have sort of kind of had an agreement that we haven't shown each other anything of what we've done. Like, we obviously know what the papers are, because part of the challenge was sending each other 10 of the papers. So I quite like that. That colour works for me. Have I got another piece of that somewhere? I do. Now, when it comes to the diamonds, I'm not likely to do them on the side, because my mind sees these diamonds in the vertical. So do I want to take that around the corner, or do I want to take that around the corner? I want to trim bits of this off, and that pleases me better. Did I hit you again? I think I almost did. Yeah, I think that's enough. I need to take a little bit more off. Now, some of you are saying, Ceri, why don't you grab a pencil and mark it? Why? I can do it this way. I'm okay doing it this way. Also, I think if I started pulling a ruler and a pencil out to measure stuff, then my whole perfectionism would really, really kick in and I'd be struggling. I think that's okay there. Oh, for you, those of you who may not have seen my notice on Facebook, I know a lot of you don't use Facebook, and I applaud you for that, because to be honest with you, I wish I didn't use Facebook. I have now deleted my Facebook business page. It wasn't doing anything for me except causing me stress, so I've deleted it. I have, however, kept my profile page, which is my name, Ceri Griffiths. You can search at Ceri Griffiths and find it. So that's still on the go. You can just send me a friend request, or I think you can follow it without befriending me. So just know that there's only one page now. So now I don't have to deal with tons and tons of trying to not duplicate stuff, because I'm trying to focus more on my YouTube community, the post tab. Like if you're on my homepage of YouTube, you have the banner, then there's a picture of me, then there's the tabs, which are something like home, video, short, podcast, playlist. I think it says post, and in there is a sort of version of Facebook, and I think someone told me that I can now open it up so others can comment on it. I haven't done that yet, so I need to look into that more. Right, I want that way. So yes, so that's where I'm focusing myself, to be honest with you. I like that. I'll just take a little shave off the edge of there. This is where I overdo it. Hopefully not. That's perfect. So yes, that's where I'm going to try and focus a lot. Because I'll only now have one Facebook page to deal with, I'm more likely to post more than I did before. Because I just found it too overwhelming to try and keep up with a Facebook profile page, a Facebook business page, a YouTube channel, my YouTube community posts, which they all ended up starting to look the same. But I think if I focus on almost duplicating a lot of the stuff, because my YouTube audience, a lot of them are different to my Facebook audience. So I don't mind doing that. But when I was trying to do 2 different posts on Facebook at the same time, right, let's turn this around again, because I'm becoming very heavy reliant on the bottom. Right, now this is a really dramatic piece. I need to remember this. Right, I wanted to bring a piece of this up here. Actually, if I use this one, then I leave myself with that little tiny bit there, don't I? It would be better if I do something like that. And now the sun is out. Apologies if the screen keeps going light and dark. As you know, I work in front of natural light. Take a bit off there, in front of a window. If you're interested to see how I normally film, if you do go to my posts on YouTube, there is a photograph on there of my setup for filming, because somebody asked. And you know me, if I can give you what you want, I will do my darndest to do it. Right, I'm going to have to do that cornering thing again. This would be a lot easier if I was working with tissue paper, or even my newsprint offcut paper, because both of them are softer. Right, so let's get my brain around this, Griffiths. So that goes on there. That will go down and that will go over. Right. So that will go down. So that needs a little bit of a slight cut. And this bit will go over the top. And again, it needs a little bit of a slight cut so it doesn't protrude above the edge of the panel. And if I refer to this as a canvas, guys, just know it is a wooden panel. You saw the back. In fact, if you've seen video number 2, you've seen why and how and where I got it. And well, I explain where I got it. You don't see where I got it, but you know what I mean. I covered it all in that video. Was that yeah, it was video number 2. So I think on the back of this I might add a little bit of a panel. Just stick it onto the back of the wooden panel itself, and I will put onto that panel what this piece of art commemorates, if that's the right word to use, because I'd like to remember. I'm a man of a certain age, and after a certain age the memory starts to go a little bit, so I'd like to celebrate the fact that I know who this is by. Now let me just do this before I explain that bit. Right, when it comes to, let's turn this over for you, when it comes to areas like this, what I'm going to do is when this is fully dry, I'm going to get a nail file or an emery file, and I'm going to file against the wood, and then that will cut that off flush. So that's how I'm going to be dealing with the pieces that are sticking out around the sides. I mean, I could come in with a craft knife, but maybe not. Right. Okay, I'm happy with this as it's going. I think what's going to happen is when I seal this and then varnish it, or maybe I'll rub wax into it, whatever I end up doing, I think it's going to make this so much more vibrant. And that's what I'm thinking, the gloss might make it vibrant as well. So, right. Now, I haven't got any of those in there at the moment, so I just want to make sure that I want them in there before I do it. I've got the honeycomb there. I do like the honeycomb, however. Maybe we'll do this other corner while I'm here. What else has been going on for you to say? No. So I'm pretty much, as I said, I don't know whether it's gone out yet, but I'm going to be posting my art journal video. It'll be a flip through. It'll only probably be about a 5 or 10 minute video. And some of you will probably have seen, not some of you, if you follow me, you may have seen clips of it before where it was in process, should we say, but now it's finished. I'm excited because I can now put it on my shelf and go, right, let's focus on the other 14 art journals that are on the go at the moment. And I don't kid you there, guys. I do have another 14 art journals on the go. But then I like art journals. And now that I kind of got into the mindset that an art journal is not supposed to be a resume of your work, however, it is supposed to be a resource, a work tool. Actually, what I'll do is I will put a link in the description box to the video where I talked about art journals, because when I edited it, I did something that I don't normally do after editing, is I rewatched the whole video again. And it's funny because when it launched, I watched the whole video myself, and oh, sorry about that. Because I don't script videos. I don't write myself a script. That's a whole nother thing. I used to have to deal with scripts when I was a performer and I hated them. However, I tend to speak as I think, which is the way I think it should be. I mean, you get my honest reaction as I'm saying it. And I found it very interesting because I wasn't conscious 100% of what I was actually verbalizing, which I found that interesting anyway. Let's put it that way. That piece is calling me there, but I'd quite like it to be that side. And there are little numbers in here which I don't mind, but I want to save that bit of gold. And I'd like the gold to go on there. Right, where do I need to do it? Probably about the end of there. So yes, it was an interesting video. I really enjoyed it, and I enjoyed watching it, even as one who created it, which there were some thought-provoking things, and I've taken them on board. And I do talk about an English artist in that video called Helen Wells, who is very much inspiration in what's the word? Instigated my mindset. That's wrong word. Influential. I think that's the word. I can't speak today. Influential in changing my mindset as to my attitude to art journals. And she's a very talented lady. And she's, how do I do this? She's very adventurous and celebrates the use of colour, line, design. I just love it. I would say Helen is definitely not a me. However, I love her work, and she has a book out. Oh gosh, what's this called? Something sketchbooks. I can't remember the name of it. Interesting sketchbook? No, it's not interesting. Expressive sketchbooks, I think it's called. And I bought the book, and I am enjoying reading it, and there's exercises and everything within it, and I'm really enjoying that. So I'm not planning to duplicate any of it in a video, so please don't ask me to. I don't really agree with duplicating someone's printed matter in a video, unless of course you have their permission to do that. Like when I worked with Kate Leach, the watercolor artist, I actually contacted her and she gave me permission to recreate a piece of her tutorial in a video, which was very generous of her, and I loved her for it. It was just so nice to be able to have full permission to do something, because you know me, I like to promote where I can. I also didn't want to breach copyright or anything like that, because that's certainly not who I am. Oh, and there's the sun again. Oh, did I put laundry in? I think I put laundry in today. I have to go down and check. I could have sworn I put the laundry in this morning. It's probably sat in the washing machine as we speak, unattended to, all alone in the kitchen, without me doing anything about it. I'll probably find it in about 2 or 3 days and go, oh, I did laundry, didn't I? I am so easily distracted by creativity. The amount of times I'll get up in the morning and I'll obviously go to the bathroom and get my robe on and everything to go downstairs to open the house up, and I usually catch up on some of the international videos I watch that have launched in the night, and I have breakfast. But before I've even gone downstairs, I have to walk past my studio to get downstairs. And the amount of times I've gone, ooh, I'll just check and see how that bit did, or did that dry correctly? And you know what? 2 hours later, I'm still stood there in my robe. I haven't had breakfast, haven't had coffee, and I've been, oh, just do a quick background there, or I'll just pull the shower, I'll just do that. Yeah, I'm notorious for it. But I love the fact that that happens to me. I'm wondering whether I want to introduce a piece of this down here. It's a little bit jarring, that piece. But that doesn't actually bother me. I'm hoping to get this video finished and edited today so that I can launch it, because obviously Darcy lives in America, so she's, I will say she's either 7 hours behind me, maybe fractionally more. I can't remember where Darcy is, and I want to say that she's at least 6 hours behind me, at least. So I'm trying to fine tune this piece so it fits in here without too much. That'll do. Right. So I'm trying to get this done today. I mean, I was supposed to have done this last week. Well, actually, we were supposed to have done this a little while ago, but a combination of things that have happened in our lives have had a lot to play with the launch times of this video. These videos, so let's put it this way now. And also, Darcy, I think, would have gone ahead and launched her videos one at a time. But I said that I don't do that. I like you guys to get all of the videos in one go if there's a series, because then if you want to binge watch, which is what I like to do when I see a series of videos, then you have the ability. If you choose to watch one today, another one tomorrow morning, another one tomorrow morning, then you also have that option. So I know Darcy is honouring the fact that that's the way I normally work, and I think that's what Darcy's going to do, which is lovely of her. Just smooth that edge down there. Now, you will note I'm not overlapping. Well, there may be the minuscule little bit of overlapping, but I tend not to overlap my work, because that then gives another depth, and sometimes when you smooth it out, you end up with mysterious lines on stuff. Right, I'd like another long vertical, and I think I'd like it up there. So I'm moving this around. Hopefully you don't mind that. Right, let's see another long vertical. I'm doing lots of green, aren't I? Can you tell green is one of my favourite colours? Well, I have lots of favourite colours, so I'm going to take green out of my pile of stuff, because otherwise I'm going to just keep adding green, and before I know it, I'll end up with a green piece. And this is not what this piece is about. That's lovely. We'll see, I'd want it to go around the edge. Have I got any wider pieces of that? Got this piece. It's not exactly, I don't like that and that there. That's not going to work for me. I do have this. That's that and that, so it can't be that. And I did have this on the go, didn't I? I keep ignoring this for some reason. And I'm ignoring it again. No, that doesn't bother me. So I'll cut that off because I don't like the fact that I slipped there. And I know a lot of you are going to say, Ceri, no one would ever have noticed that. I know, but I would. Just give a bit of a fold. With a chop. So I think this is my, unless something crops up, this is my last collaboration of the year, I think. I don't do a huge amount of collaborations. Wasn't exactly where it needs to be. I don't do a huge amount of collaborations in a year, because I find then all I'm focusing on is collaborations, which in itself is wonderful to work with other artists. However, it means it cuts down on the other things I want to do. And believe me, my filming and art schedule is busy enough as it is. I mean, if another artist reached out and it was something that I was really excited about, then obviously I would definitely consider it, let's put it that way. And who knows what this challenge will generate, because as I said in the intro video, this is a one-to-one challenge in that you can take this challenge and challenge one person. It isn't a group challenge, it's a one-to-one challenge. It'll become a group challenge if you use the hashtag, and then everyone can see what other people have done, which is the whole point, so we can all share our art and support each other. However, I forgot what I was saying. So anyway, in the first video, I did say, if you choose to challenge someone, you are more than welcome. That doesn't fit. You are more than welcome to use the criteria that we've created between ourselves to challenge someone else, which I think is lovely. Right, this really does feel, it needs to be on here because I've got it there, and I do want it somewhere down here. I do think it needs to be just a little bit. So yes, it might be that one of you reaches out and goes, Ceri, can I challenge you? The answer may be, can we wait a little while? Or can I do it after Christmas or something? But you never know, I might go with it. It depends where I'm at. I mean, I really don't know. I mean, my life has been thrown severe curveballs over the last 8 months, to be honest with you. Have I cut the wrong piece? No, I haven't cut the wrong piece. I've cut the right piece. And as we all know, you never know what's around the corner. The trouble with doing as a collaboration is you end up obligating your time and your life for the length of that collaboration. And I have no problem doing that, but I do have a problem letting people down. Even if something major comes into my life, I will still try and complete the challenge because I've said I would. And the other person is normally horrified. They're like, Ceri, don't bother, it's fine, we'll deal with it. And I'm like, no, I've said I'll do this. And I force myself to do it, which is sometimes not the healthiest thing to do. But you know what? We're all wired differently, aren't we? We're all wired differently. How am I doing for time? Ooh. Yeah, this is going to be a longer video, guys. But I don't want to go into video 4, let's put it that way. I would rather do, say, an hour and 20, an hour and a half now, and not worry about it. I want this done today. I want to enjoy the process in whole. So, as long as you can put up with me gossiping and chatting away as I go. Right, so I've got a piece here, and it feels like it needs to be that colour. Something else that's gone on too, by the way, is I did warn you about... Sorry, having a thoughtful moment. If I go that way, maybe. I did warn you about the added advertisements in YouTube. They have definitely kicked in. Definitely kicked in. And I am struggling with how to deal with it all, because what I found is where I've put manual advertisements into some of my videos, YouTube has then decided that if I have a manual video as a mid-roll ad, then it tries forcing me to make a decision or make a choice between them and me. And what they're doing is, if I choose to go against and just keep my manually added one, they're then basically just not playing my video, or they're not even advertising anything on my video. So I'm struggling, guys, with that. So if there's a lot of videos with a lot of ads in my channel, you use your best decision-making abilities. I know a lot of you do have the ad-free bundle that YouTube offers. I don't know what it's called. Is it? It's not YouTube Premiere or something? I don't know. I don't have it. I'm not about to pay YouTube a monthly stipend to actually play my own videos or watch people's videos. There have been some questions that have come up, and actually this is a good point to answer them. I have been asked, Ceri, if I have ad-free YouTube, do you still benefit from a payment from the advertisements? Yes, actually we do. I asked a few people and looked into it, and they said, yes, we do give, or yes, you do get a percentage, because they realize that the person has watched your video. So yes, we are still rewarded if someone's on ad-free. So, which is good. It's good to know. I was pleased to find that out myself. Right, I like that balance. I like that balance. I like that. But I know I'm working in threes, but what I'm doing is I'm working in triangles. Now, I know that I have this color in more than 3 places, like these here. But if you break it down, this, and this match, that's a triangle. This, and this is a triangle. Do you see what I mean? It's just, I'm liking the way all of this is balancing it out. This and this needs another piece of this, which is good, because I wanted to put another piece of that in, because I'm really enjoying that. And I'm wondering whether I want to put it, maybe I don't want to put it there. I'm running out of room where it can go, actually. I do like it, though. Wonder whether I'll just turn this around and go this way. So where was I up to? Yes, the mid-roll ads are becoming a pain. Although what I am finding, curiously enough, is when I look back at my established videos, ones that have been on the go for a while, the artificial intelligence, don't want to say the word watched my video, but it has understood my video to the point where it's taken out ads of some sort. So whereas maybe it had 10 ads in a video, it's now honed it down so there's only 4 ads in a video. So, which I think is interesting. I'm wondering whether the machinery is learning, or has YouTube learnt that people are just not as interested as they think it is. Or, as I said in my original video, I think it was a marketing campaign to try and get you all to sign up to ad-free YouTube, and that could still be ongoing. I don't know. I'm just little old me in Cardiff banging away in my art studio. Does that fit, or am I just having a moment? No, it does fit. Right, I need just a little shave more. You watch this if I ruin it by cutting too much of a shave off. And I'll probably stick it down in the wrong direction. Right, we've got that there. Let's just stick it down while I'm thinking about it. So yes, I have watched a few of my videos back just to see what YouTube is doing. All of the adverts I'm seeing that have been put into my videos are either skippable. So as soon as the skip button arrives, that means I have earned my commission and you can skip it. And then I've seen some other videos I think play for possibly 30 seconds or more. They're a bit longer without a skip, but there is nothing that is a very, very long video. Because I know in the past, some of you have said, Ceri, I had to watch 20 minutes of an advert. I don't even know where those are. I've never seen one of those in my life. But I won't disagree with you, because obviously I don't live in other countries. So I don't know what your algorithm or your criteria for how you watch videos is. Does that all make sense? Right, now I've got a bit of that there. And I'm thinking I want to put a little bit of this here. And I wouldn't mind carrying the lines through. So just cut that off. I seem to be talking a lot about YouTube here, but this is the perfect opportunity for me to talk about YouTube and cover a lot of the questions that you guys keep asking me. And please don't ever stop asking questions. I'm more than happy to answer them. I need one more line off there. Someone, and I can't remember the name, and I wouldn't name her even if I could name her. I believe she's in Spain. In fact, I'm certain she's in Spain. Has been a little upset, should we say, because the videos are not dubbed into Spanish, which would help her. And I fully get that. I absolutely fully get that, because I know if I was watching a Spanish video, I'd be completely lost. And in the past, this young lady has said, could you please turn on your language options so it can be in Spanish? I went all the way through my channel, sorting everything out, and I have got everything turned on for other languages. So therefore, it should be doing it in whatever languages it's done in. So, and then about a week ago, this young lady commented again and said, could you please turn them on? I can't understand everything that's going on. And I had to go back and say, there's nothing more I can do. Now, I've checked my videos and the system is doing them in other languages, but I don't know how it chooses which language to do it in. I mean, I know that like some of my videos are in like 9 or 10 different languages now. And then other videos are only in one language other than English. So I don't know how it's selecting the ones to choose, unless maybe it's going by popularity or something. So just know that I am doing my best with the language thing. I can't always be 100% on the ball. Right. I'm trying to work out, right, do I want any more of this in there? That would be nice in there. Let's see if I can get that down to size. Oh, and as predicted, I just chopped it in the wrong area. I chopped it too short. And I want it that way because of the diamonds. So anything else will go in there? No, I feel there's too many circles on here at the moment. Now the squares could go, but the lines are all going vertically. Ooh, we're going to be hitting a problem, aren't we? Actually, no, we're not, because I think I can do that. That barely fits, but let's see if I can get it in there. And I'd quite like it that way around. So the crosses are further away from that. Now that just needs evening up. Oh, I did it again. Right, there's more than one way to do this. Let's bring back in the piece I wanted in the first place and make this into 2 pieces. Right. I don't know whether I'm going to make 2 or 3 pieces now. That will be okay. I would probably say if you were making something like this, that you leave it dry completely for a couple of days, if not longer, before you seal it with a varnish. Now, I'm not going to, because I want this video done today. However, I would totally, especially if you're using a canvas, I would completely recommend so that everything is fully dried out before you try and add stuff to it. Right, I'm going to have to turn it this way. I'm struggling. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to get this right, and my eyesight is denying me it. I can accept that. Yeah, if there's one thing I do with these sort of things is I don't stint on the matte medium, because it is both my glue and my sealant for this level. I mean, I know I talk about I'm going to put a sealant over the top and then varnish or whatever I'm going to do. However, I don't want things lifting up. So this action of moving my catalyst tool or whatever you're using is pushing the medium down into any gaps and joining all of these edges together. Right, okay, I'm okay with that. I really like that, to have something through the middle. I really don't want to be adding, oh, what's that? Oh, that's a bit I've just cut off. I can't stick that down. I hit you again, didn't I? It can't be that one. Maybe this does need to be green. No, everything is green around it. Now, I could go in and grab more of the papers, because obviously I've got more of the papers. But I'd quite like to not introduce a new pattern to all of this. Oh, will you stop with the head, Griffiths? Right, let's just... Right, so I do have dots on there. Putting more dots in would not be a problem. I wonder whether I need to put another piece of this in. Let's put this back up the way it was originally, I think. That doesn't feel right. That, however, because that sweeping motion goes all right, I might get a piece of that in there. Sorry guys, I know I keep hitting my head on you, but that's kind of all I can do. I think that's okay. I wish it didn't overlap that though. Right, let's just pray I've done that right, shall we guys? Maybe not the most perfect in the world, but I'm willing to marry that. I must admit I did, because I've been considering this piece for a little while, and I was considering would I come in and do maybe black lines around the edge of everything, but I think that would, it would be dramatic and it would look a little bit like a stained glass window. However, I do think it will be a little bit of overkill. I really do. Okay, so we're narrowing it down. Narrow being the operative word here. I don't mind that. That works for me because I've got some lines in there. I don't really want to add too much more pattern to this. I don't mind that by there. And this tends to be what happens with me when I start anything. The last pieces just get smaller and smaller and smaller. That'll do fine. Stop, seriously. So we're almost there, guys, we're almost there. Right, let's have a little look at the scrap pile, as we call it, because this is where the little pieces come in. It could be very useful. I'm so sick of hitting my head on there, I can tell you. That doesn't feel like the right piece. That would be right if that wasn't there. That's too much like that. That's vertical, so that can't be used. What about view? Oh, I'd have to marry that up with that. That shouldn't be a problem, that little one square in there. It's probably going to be a problem if I do it in green, though. Actually, I quite like that. Right, let's see if I can just... Pray for me, guys. I'm going in with the scissors. And we know I don't cut well with the scissors. Right, a little bit off the top. I think I can get away with that. If you keep moving it around, Griffiths, stop moving it around. Right, I need to hold this up a minute. I need to see whether that's straight or not. I've moved it so much now I can't see where it's supposed to be. That'll do nicely. I can live with that, I think. I can now. Right. So 2 strips. Okay, sorry about that. I had to turn the camera off because I was getting really frustrated trying to focusing at the measurements of these, and I kept hitting my head on the iPad, so I just needed to basically get it done. So it's all done. It needs to fully dry now. After it's fully dried, I'm going to then take the edges off here, and then I'm not sure that I'm going to varnish. I'm torn. I've got varnish here, which I'd like to use, and also I've got gloss medium, which I have never used, and I'm wondering which I should use. I'm also contemplating sealing it and just putting wax on it. So it's too many decisions, to be honest with you. So I'm going to let this dry, tidy it up. I will, because I need to do it outside anyway. I'm not going to do any aerosol work with my lungs unless it's outside in the garden. I'm going to have a good old clean up. So when you see me next, this will be pretty much finished, and then we can take a look at the final results. So thanks for your patience, guys. I'll be back in 2. So here we go. It's all finished. It's all dry. What I did in the end is I didn't put anything other than the matte medium on here, but I did put a coating of the wax I normally use. I use this in my art journals to stop my pages sticking together. So this is the brand I use. I put a layer of that on and then really buffed it with a soft cloth just to make sure I got all of the excess off. And I'm very happy with it. It's brought all the colours to the fore. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take it downstairs and see whether I can photograph it in situ, just so you can see what it looks like, and also you'll be able to see the whole thing then. So, a few things left to say. Darcy, thank you so much. It was a pleasure to work with you. A great collab. I'm really looking forward to watching your videos to see what you did with the papers I sent you. I've got a feeling you did a journal because I have a feeling that's where you were going. I didn't know what I was going to do and I've ended up doing this. I really love this, but then I like abstract and like this sort of layout. I did play around with putting a focal point on. So I said I was thinking about putting a branch of leaves or something here. I could have painted one of my faces on here. I could have done some abstract shapes on here. Could even have stenciled some gold onto it or something. But you know, at the end of the day, I really love what this is. And it's really tactile. I'm sorry, I keep touching it. I just really love the tactile nature of it. I really like this. It's going to look great over my desk downstairs. And thank you. So, without any further ado, I'm Ceri the Crafter. That's Ceri the Crafter. Until next time, goodbye now.